Hello. Okay, I just finished listening to, not reading, on Audible, the third book by Jordan B. Peterson, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, clinical psychologist, writer, lecturer at Toronto University, formerly Harvard, public speaker, and as far as I can tell, after my previous review of his book, 12 Rules for Life Beyond No, An Antidote to Chaos. Quite a divisive character. Lots of people seem to hate him. I'd never really encountered any of his written spoken work. I've seen a few quotes that people have sent me. I'll thank my friend Alan for introducing me to him, and I'll say I thank because I think his work is great. I think it's fantastic. I can see why people might find him offensive because he doesn't soften anything. He will, if he thinks something is a certain way, he will say it. Now, people say, oh, he uses his intelligence as a weapon, his intelligence as a weapon. I don't think anything should be used as a weapon, uh, you know. But at the same time, I don't think if somebody said to me, for example, you're getting older, you're getting fat, it does me no good to see that as an attack. If I'm getting fat, I need to do something about it. But anyway, that's discussion of the author. That's not as relevant as discussion of the book. Now, obviously, if you're going to be reading things and taking them as sources of information, and they happen to be written by Daffy Duck, Donald Trump, whoever, then it's probably a bad source of information. Anyway, so the book of his I've just read is called Beyond Order, and it's a follow up to 12 Rules for Life. Um, and it's another 12 rules actually. So the rules in this one are: number one, do not carelessly denigrate social institutions or creative achievement. Number two, imagine who you could be. And then aim single mindedly at that. Number three, do not hide unwanted things in the fog. Number four, dear. Number four was, I think, realize that opportunity is where responsibility has been abdicated. Number five was do not do what you hate. Number six was abandon ideology. Now that just sounds good, so that's easy to remember. Number seven, I particularly like this one, was work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing and see what happens. Now, if there is a piece of advice to improve your life or improve your situation or improve your mental state in any way, I don't think there's much better than work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing and see what happens. Don't try to work too hard on lots of things because you can't spread yourself too thin. But work as hard as you can on at least one thing, and you're bound to, if not get to where you want to go, develop skills, improve yourself, realize that you within yourself have balls. You can actually do it. You can take on life challenges. You don't just have to be flung around by the vicissitudes of life. You can get somewhere. I love that one. Number seven was try to make at least one room in your house beautiful, which I agree with. I think, if you live in a dump, then you need to sort it out. And if you have one room where you can really sit and concentrate, these rules, some of the rules may sound on the surface silly. Like, for example, in the last book, the 12 Rules for Life, the last two were rules 11 and 12 were do not, do not bother children who are skateboarding, and pet a cat when you encounter it on the street. But if you actually listen to it, there's a lot behind that. So we were going. Now I've lost my place. So make one room in your house as beautiful as possible. Um, number 8 or 9. Anyway, the next one I can remember. If old memories still bother you, still upset you, write them down as carefully and completely as you can. And for anybody, I know there's a few people on here who've done something called the landmark. They have something called dealing with your story. So your story is basically the way you realize old memories, the way you remember old memories, which you think, mean that you're incapable of certain things or mean you're a certain way. So I guess it's similar to that. It's the whole story concept is old memories that are still bothering you. Write them down completely and carefully. Um, and I forget the rest, I think. Number 10. Number 10, was something to do with relationships, which I thought was brilliant because one of the major things that I've seen in the last 10, 20 years, because I've been in the same relationship for 20 plus years, and it's great. I love it. I think, I'm probably as happy now married as I was when I was dating this girl. But yeah, it's great. So all these people, oh, I can't get a boyfriend, I can't get a girlfriend, I can't keep it. That's because you don't want to. You don't bloody work hard enough at it. You know, somebody pisses you off, or somebody looks at you the wrong way, or somebody don't satisfy you in bed, so you're on Tinder looking for the next thing. This is why we have wedding vows. They're vows. And Peterson said it brilliantly. He says, you know, I'm stuck with you and you're stuck with me. And he says it's like putting two angry cats at the bottom of a barrel and putting the lid on. They better learn to get along. And then he breaks it down into numbers. So, you know, if your partner does one thing or you do one thing that just annoys them a little bit, but let's say it's the way you eat your dinner, well, that's going to happen 21 times a week. Yeah, if you eat all three meals together, so maybe 7 times a week. That's going to happen 350, 364 times in a year. Times that by 30 years. So you're going to be annoyed or annoy your partner that much over the course of a 30-year marriage, and that's going to cause problems. So it is plan and work diligently to maintain the romance in your relationship. There you go. Rule 10, rule 11 was easy. Do not allow yourself to become resentful, deceitful, or arrogant. Rule 12 was be grateful in spite of your suffering. So they're all the rules. The book again is brilliant. The book is absolutely superb because he draws on his experience as a clinical psychologist, which is, you know, decades long. He obviously protecting the names and everything of his clients, but he gives so many good examples. So the books are great. I mean, he gives so many good examples, and whether or not you think you're going to like the guy, read the stuff. It's such good stuff, and the examples he gives, the way he illustrates things. And look, if you can be bothered, he uses a lot of words which you're not going to understand probably. And that's not to say, oh, you're all stupid. That's to say it's really great, because then you can look up the words, and I believe the more words you know the definition of, the more accurately you can use your language. That's one of the rules from the first book. Be precise in your language. The more things you know the word for, the more concepts you have in your head, the better you deal with the world. So it's another brilliant book. I mean, as soon as I finished listening to it, I'm thinking, God, there's a lot of information in there. So I'm going to listen to it again. Not straight away, obviously. Instead, I've just downloaded Maps of Meaning, which was his first book, which even people who listen to or have read the guy's other stuff say, oh, this is heavy going. I'm looking forward to it. I want to dive in. I can't wait. And I'm sure I have to listen to it more than once. You know, just knowing the rules is one thing, but even if you want some interesting facts and some interesting stories to tell that party, listen to his stuff, because there's so much information in there. You know, for somebody who loves information, look, I studied psychology, so I love psychology anyway, and I think really everybody loves psychology because everybody wants to know why people function the way they do, why they feel the way they do, etc., etc. You know, people say psychology is one of the soft sciences. Well, so what? You know, economics is meant to be a hard science, right? Economics is fucking useless because the classical economics is based on, oh, everybody's rational and does the best thing for themselves. No, they're not, you idiots. They're humans. This is why, for example, all these classic economic models like the rational market hypothesis and everything never work. And when people believe they work, they end up losing billions and billions in funds that were run by Nobel laureates. It's true. It's true. Long-term capital management. Look that up, and you'll see what I mean. And of course, then you have the con artists like Bernie Madoff, and everyone will believe a con artist if they're respectable enough, because everyone wants an easy way out. Getting off topic. Excellent book. Jordan B. Peterson. Sorry. My mind's gone completely blank. Jordan B. Peterson. Beyond Order. 12 More Rules. It's not actually called 12 More Rules, but that's what it is. Thoroughly recommend it. And if you've seen Jordan B. Peterson talk on YouTube, because he's got a very popular YouTube channel and everything, I haven't really, I just read his stuff, and you think, oh, this guy seems arrogant, this guy seems like an idiot, or I really like this guy, or I don't really like this guy. Forget that. Read his stuff, because his YouTube channel and everything came off the back of that. So that's kind of the corollaries, you know, that's the collateral damage. You know, if you want to be in the action, read the books. I'm sure you'll love them. They're not easy, so don't be one of these people who reads the book and says, oh, just some old guy long-windedly talking about the Bible, blah 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 blah. Yeah, engage your mind, and you'll benefit from it. It's really good.